So we're switching our focus now from controlling to defending and escaping. Starting from what a lot of people don't even realize is a defensive position, since it's on top, is in somebody's closed guard. I would consider that the inferior position compared to the person on the bottom. When there's strikes involved, it changes a little bit, but even so, you should be mostly on the defense when you are trapped in somebody's closed guard. So the first thing we're going to look at, if Rylan puts me in closed guard, just keep your head going this way. Oh, that's fine. Yep. Is how to be defensively postured, how my body should look as opposed to his. They're going to be obviously 100% contrast compared to what he wants, so he's going to be fighting this the whole time. Mostly what it revolves around is base and posture. He wants to kill and disrupt both of those things. I need to maintain both of those things. So first of all, posture is going to be through the spine. Try to keep as straight a spine as possible when you're in this position. If I curl over even like this and he grabs the back of my head and pulls down, yeah, now my posture is broken. I have to strip his grip and then straighten back up to get all the way back. That takes a bit of work, especially when he's specifically trying to do that. So if you start with good posture, now he grabs the back of my neck. It's very difficult to bend my spine against my will, especially when we're starting to frame, and we're going to get into that in a second. So posture, keeping your spine straight is extremely important when you're on defense in the closed guard. Base, now we're talking about not being able to be swept over or at least knocked off balance. That's going to revolve around our four limbs. So what they're going to be doing, we'll start with the top ones. Since we're looking at the neck, we'll go down to the arms. We're going to be framing off his body so that we basically reinforced our posture. If I don't do anything like this and he grabs, yeah, he can bend my spine even though it's straight right at the lumbar, because there's nothing between me and him. If you think about an isosceles triangle where you would frame in architecture, I need a gusset basically to be able to stop this direction of movement. So there's a few ways we can do that. The most common one is to try to frame the hips themselves right here and nail them to the ground. That's going to do two things for me. First thing is it adds that structure, so if he pulls me forward, yeah, even with his legs or his arms, I'm much more secure in that direction. But also it nails his hips to the floor, which he wants to start cutting angles on to get a lot of his movements off. So a lot of his offense involves getting an angle on me, which is going to start with the hips. So those two things get negated to a certain degree just by framing the hips and literally pushing them into the ground. I'm not just holding on right here, I'm not making grips. You can make grips, but what really important is pushing down to nail them to the floor. You'll feel the actual pelvis bones, they're sort of like handles you can find, and just push them down like that. So now I've got my posture, I've got my frames right here. Last thing we're going to look at for proper defensive position and closed guard is going to be our legs. So what I don't want to be doing is I don't want to have my knees close together like this, because now I'm tippy. My base is basically this wide. It's as wide as my knees are. So widen those knees out. They're going to act as outriggers. They've got some wider shadow of base underneath me. And also, even if I have my legs wide like this, if I'm up like this, now I'm higher off the ground. I'm tippy. I'm like a tree in the wind right here. I'm too long this way. Settle your butt onto your heels, and now he whips me side to side. It barely moves, okay? Compared to up here, it's going to move me a lot. So wide legs, butt on your heels, frame the hips, straight posture. This is what we're going to work. It's very quick to go over, but this is something that you have to make sure, go through the checklist while you're on defense and closed guard to set yourself up in a good position, and then we'll work on breaking the guard itself next. All right, 1, 2, 3.